There is a silent, terrifying warning sign your horse gives you every single day, and because it looks so innocent, you are almost certainly ignoring it. You glance out into the pasture, see them resting a leg, and assume they are just enjoying a lazy afternoon in the sun. It is one of the easiest traps for owners to fall into. We constantly misinterpret their physical posture as relaxation, but it is actually a desperate cry for medical help. In fact, later in this video, I'm going to reveal a specific resting posture involving their front legs. It is an absolute catastrophic death sentence if you don't catch it immediately. You might even be rewarding the behavior right now. To understand when a stance is deadly, you have to know what true biological relaxation looks like. When a horse drops a hip and rests a single hind leg on the toe of the hoof, they are engaging their reciprocal stay apparatus. This is a brilliant network of ligaments and tendons that essentially lock their hind end in place. It allows their parasympathetic nervous system to take over so they can safely sleep while standing. It is exactly like locking your knees when you are stuck standing in an infinitely long line at the grocery store. It takes the muscular effort out of staying upright. It is completely healthy, but that illusion of safety shatters entirely when you see them stretch those same hind legs backwards. When a horse adopts a camped out stance, dragging their hind hooves far out behind their tail like they are preparing to urinate, but absolutely nothing happens, panic should immediately set in. This is not a satisfying morning stretch. This is a severe clinical indicator of gastrointestinal distress or acute colic. By stretching their abdominal wall, they are frantically trying to relieve that agonizing internal pressure of gas buildup or intestinal torsion. Imagine having violent food poisoning. The only way you could find a millimeter of relief is by curling into a tight fetal position. That is the exact level of visceral agony they are experiencing. And if you think that internal pain is horrifying, watch out for this subtle spinal warning. You might be grooming your horse in the cross ties and notice their tail is clamped down brutally tight against their hindquarters. Most riders brush this off as the horse just being cranky, ticklish, or cold, but it is actually a glaring system of sacroiliac pain or deep pelvic inflammation. When a horse tucks their tail, they are involuntarily contracting their gluteal and pelvic muscles. They do this to act as a makeshift splint for a damaged lower spine. That muscular shielding is bad enough, but seeing them stand like a newborn giraffe is a whole different nightmare. If you walk into a stall and see your horse standing with their front or hind feet spread abnormally wide apart, known as a base-wide stance, you are looking at a neurological crisis. This is the hallmark sign of equine protozoa myeloencephalitis, where a parasite is actively destroying their spinal cord. They are spreading their feet because they feel completely unmoored from reality. It feels exactly like trying to walk across the wet, tossing deck of a boat in the middle of a violent storm. You aggressively widen your stance just to keep from falling overboard. If you love your horse and want to protect them from these hidden neurological dangers, subscribe to Horse Haven so you never miss a warning. Because the only thing scarier than a horse losing their balance is a horse pressing their head directly into a solid brick wall. This posture is called head pressing, and it is never a quirky personality trait. It means their brain is physically swelling against their skull. This is often due to hepatic encephalopathy, which is a total shutdown of their liver causing neurotoxins to flood their brain. Think of the most blinding, nauseating migraine you've ever suffered. The only thing you can do is press an ice pack aggressively into your forehead. They are desperate for relief, and that desperation looks remarkably similar to this next terrifying stance. You'll probably see that exact same look of hollow desperation if you catch a horse rocking all of their weight back onto their hindquarters. They will be placing their front feet far out in front of them, like an elephant balancing on a circus ball. This is the classic tragic posture of acute laminitis. They are throwing their weight backwards because the front of their hooves literally feel like they are on fire. It is the exact sensation of being forced to walk barefoot across scorching hot, sharp black asphalt in the middle of July. The biological danger of ignoring this rocking stance is devastating. I linked the exact premium therapeutic cooling hoof boots I rely on for my own horses in the pinned comment below. Once you have their feet protected from the heat, you need to look out for the absolute most deceptive posture of all, the pointed front leg. Remember how resting a hind leg is totally normal? Resting a front leg, where the horse points the toe forward to take all the weight off their heel, is a catastrophic warning sign. Horses do not have a stay apparatus in their front limbs. They do not rest front legs for fun. If a front leg is pointed, it means the navicular bone, the bursa, or the deep digital flexor tendon is degrading. It is exactly like trying to walk around all day with a sharp, jagged pebble lodged deep inside the heel of your favorite running shoe. You would instinctively walk on your toes to avoid the blinding stab of pain. That localized hoof pain is agonizing, but systematic. If your horse is standing locked in place, feet planted firmly into the dirt like a wooden sawhorse, refusing to take a single step forward, their muscles are effectively self-destructing. This is exertional rhabdomyolysis. Their muscle fibers are breaking down on a cellular level and flooding their kidneys with toxic proteins. Imagine getting a massive paralyzing Charlie horse in both of your thighs at the same exact time, but the muscle cramp simply refuses to release. Forcing a horse to walk when they are locked in a rigid sawhorse stance will permanently destroy their muscle tissue. Refusing to walk is a clear red flag, but refusing to lower their head presents an entirely different kind of immediate emergency. If your horse is standing with their neck stretched out rigidly and their nose pointing straight into the air, accompanied by coughing or heavy drooling, they are choking. Unlike humans, a horse physically cannot breathe through their mouth, and esophageal obstruction triggers sheer, unadulterated panic. The muscular spasms in their throat are violent. Think about swallowing a massive dry vitamin pill without any water. You feel it lodge heavily in the center of your chest, burning and refusing to go down. That localized panic is awful, but when the panic shifts to their stomach, the posture gets even weirder. Have you ever walked up to the pasture and seen your horse sitting upright on their hindquarters exactly like a golden retriever? While it looks funny and cute for a split second, dog sitting is a massive clinical indicator of catastrophic spinal cord trauma or impending gastric rupture. If a horse's stomach is distending to the point of tearing, sitting up like a dog temporarily takes the crushing weight of their massive digestive tract off of their lungs and diaphragm. It is the exact same survival instinct that makes you double over and grab your knees when you take a brutal, breathless punch straight to the gut. They are just trying to find air. And now that you know how to decode these dangerous physical postures and protect their legs, you need to make sure you aren't accidentally misinterpreting the terrifying things they do with their mouths. Click on the video on the screen right now to find out why the reason horses yawn is scary.